Yo, what is going on? What is up? Welcome back, everybody. We are here for another Tuesday edition of the Think Big podcast. I'm excited. If you don't know who I am already, I'm Marlon Johnson. I'm here with my co host, Sam Singh, Daryl Ellison, and it's really Alvarez, aka Alejandro Alvarez, the flyest guy on YouTube right now. And I'm excited for today's episode because we're going to be going over something that we started last week. See, we've been going through how to get into real estate, how to start wholesaling, how to do this business with $0 and what you can do to go find buyers, to go find deals, to go and put your network together. And then last week we came and we spoke about something extremely important. So if you didn't remember, we spoke about ROIs. We spoke about understanding your numbers, what real investors, what sophisticated investors are looking at when they're purchasing properties. So if you missed that episode, go back and watch it because it's going to help you understand what we're doing today. Because Sam Singh was gracious enough to say, bro, why are we talking about hypotheticals? Why are we telling these people about theoretical deals when we can show them real deals, real creative financing deals, deals that actually exist, not in like the metaverse, not on like just someone's Instagram story, but are out there in the world. So today we're going to be deep diving into a real deal that Sam's worked on or is working on. So I'm actually excited. I don't know the details behind this one. Sometimes I think people think we're like all working in business together, which is like the coolest part. Like these are my homies, but at the same time, like technically, like they're also my competition, right? Like, but we collaborate. We don't really see competition. We just all collaborate and we work together, right? Like we go to Sam and Sam teaches us like how to generate the best leads on planet freaking Earth. Alejandro shows you how to run a team like lean and clean, and Daryl's just showing you how to be an absolute monster, a sniper on the phone. So I'm excited for today's episode. So I'm gonna pass the mic. Before we let Sam like jump in and say anything, do y'all want to add anything on top of today's sauce? Because I'm excited. I got excited for today's episode. I even got my lemonade over here.
Yo, shout out to you for showing us that last week, though, Marlon. That was really great, bro. That was really great. That's something I can count on when it comes to like numbers, ROIs. Like Marlon is the guy, bro. When I went over in Phoenix, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? Bro, my mind
Yeah,
was
bro.
blown. I'm still thinking about that till today. I'm like, yo, this dude has his numbers all organized. He can project what his life is gonna look like in a couple of years. Bro, you're that guy.
Bro, it's crazy? People don't know that I nerd out on the numbers because I hated numbers so much. But I started to realize as a business owner, you have to know your numbers. Like there's no way around it. Like you guys, I'm gonna give everyone a secret. What up, Ingrid? I'm gonna give everybody a secret right now. The secret to making business easier, the secret to like the shortcut is do the work. The shortcut is get the stuff done. Like that's the real shortcut. The shortcut is like stop looking for the shortcut and just start walking and doing the work. And a part of doing that work is knowing your numbers. So yeah, when Alejandro came through, like I got to show him some of my numbers, which I don't show Alejandro. I think you're probably the first person that's ever seen like my Excel sheets. And like people think I'm just like willy-nilly, like gung-ho, just making stuff up as I go. It's like, nah, guys, like your boy sat down and started to put numbers on paper.
Yep.
It's really funny. The other week we did a Zoom, not a Zoom, a live where we talked about the five things that people need to do to be successful in real estate in 2023. And one of my things that I wanted to really highlight is this is a game of inputs versus outputs and a numbers game, right? And so Marlon, to drive that home, dude, the fact that you busted out an Excel sheet and then you did that actually with the numbers. Full transparency, I don't even do that. Like I've got my own way of doing it. I've got my napkin math. And it's cool to see that because I was learning how you do cash on cash and how you calculate your ROI, right? And I was like, damn, I need to get better at my game so I don't take as much risk as I probably am. But dude, yeah, like that was actually really clean. We actually went back and rewatched it. Full transparency, I completely copied that Excel sheet from you. Like I have it bookmarked. It's copied. It's mine now. But yeah, it's one of those things, guys, where I want to highlight something you said. We technically are competitors, right? We're in the same industry, where right now, I think for the most part, we'll probably have some overlap in markets that we're in. We're technically, competition. The reality is, Marlon, you actually helped me on this deal. I actually came to you, if you remember, we had an escrow officer who said some really stupid crap about title insurance not working if I didn't use a loan servicing company. So this is actually that exact same deal that we ended up closing on. So Marlon was actually a collaborator on this one, and he kind of helped me put out some fires and make sure that that I wasn't crazy in thinking that the escrow officer was crazy, and it kind of was her a little bit. But guys, you guys want to know something? I'm really this goes back to last week, right? We're talking about hypotheticals and theoreticals. Guys, I have a college degree, I've got a grad degree. And one thing I hated about college was listening to professors preach about things that they weren't doing. Imaginary numbers, fake numbers, textbooks, theories, PowerPoints on stuff that probably didn't exist because it was perfect world scenarios. I hated that. Why? Marlon, have you ever had a deal that's was supremely easy and supremely secure? It was every deal. Every deal has something. There's always something. Deals, guys, are messy. And usually the more profitable the deal, the messier it is, right? We always talk about the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. This deal was not a cash deal. It was not a seller finance deal. It was not a sub-2 deal. It was a hybrid. Half seller finance, half subject to. A lot of messy stuff going on, which we may even cover in a later episode. We've had to deal with a very messy eviction, which we just won, which we're kind of now dealing with a lot of that stuff. So, I mean, if you guys want us, that's something I don't think a lot of people talk about. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of people do a ton of, real deal content about how to deal with an eviction that is actually ongoing, what that looks like, because it's a headache. And I hope that you guys never have to deal with them. We did. And it was a pain in the butt, complete pain in the butt. I think we'll dive into that later. But Daryl, before I go ahead and run it, do you have anything that you wanted to add?
Bro, I'm just excited to hear this deal, bro. I'm excited to hear you talk about this deal because we talked about it offline, and I know you went through a lot, bro. And what you guys were just saying, I think Marlon said in the chat he had one deal that was clean. I probably had two out of all the deals I've done that were clean, truly clean deals. So It's almost I think we spoke about this before. I expect problems to happen now. I expect headaches to happen now. So that way, when they don't happen, it's oh, that was cool. All right.
What went wrong? It's no problems yet? No, this isn't something. I'm missing something.
I actually have one right now, right, that we're closing on this week. And I outsource everything. So I have a JV partner who found the buyer, right? She finds all my buyers in Baltimore. And she's like, oh, this was the easy one, right? After we locked it up because we were ready to close. It took her a couple of days. She's about to get paid after a week, right? And I'm like, yeah. You haven't seen the original contract. This was under contract since December 2021. Right. And we had to go through all this stuff. We had a couple other buyers before her. She has no clue about, right, that they backed out. We had a whole bunch of stuff with the city. It took us literally a year for us to get to where we're at now. And we're still not there yet. So fingers crossed. Hopefully everything goes the right way this week. But it's always an issue.
Did you say December 2021?
Yes.
Bro, that was legit a month after I started real estate. That deal's been going on since I started.
Yeah.
So, guys, it's one of those really interesting things where I know Ingrid had this massive deal. I think it was a 6-figure deal where I think it might have been a wholesale or something to that effect, where she made a ton of money on. She squatted up and split it a couple different ways and was able to bless other human beings. That's amazing. What we quickly find out is the deals that typically end up being really messy are the deals that you keep, right? Because now there's more components. When you're wholesaling, there's fewer components, right? There's the acquisition, there's the marketing, the lead gen side, there's the acquisition, which is the sales process. That's where Daryl comes in clutch. And there's the TC and dispo, and then you're out of the deal, right? You get your paycheck. It's a different story when you buy the deal, because now you have to think about, repairs and furnishing and private money costs and holding costs, and the neighbor's a jerk. Things like that. I was about to say something totally worse. So guys, this is one thing that I wanted to talk about. And I think this will always happen to someone, right? This happened to me. I was with our mentor, Pace Morby, a few weeks ago, and he and I were talking about this deal. Guys, this deal is my favorite deal that I've ever done. Why? It is the hardest deal that I've ever done. And it was the biggest mindset adjuster for me. We went into contract on this deal in February, and we closed maybe about 2 months ago, three months ago. And ever since close, we've been in an eviction process.
Nice.
So we've had this one has it all, guys. We've got foreclosure, we've got horrible tenants, we've got family dynamic issues, we've got death threats to me and my team, we've got death threats to realtors.
Nice.
There's so much in it. All for what? A 2-bedroom, 2-bath, single family.
Oh, bro!
Yeah.
I've been waiting to figure out what sort of house this was.
Now, when we'll show it, guys, we'll bring it up until I want you guys to see the house. It's actually a nice house. It's really nice. The cool thing is this, right? It's in a premier market. It's in Clark County, Nevada, which is Henderson, which is like a little suburb town right outside of Las Vegas. It's going to be a great moneymaker for us. It actually is 1,000% worth it. And we talk about some of the things that we kind of hit on last week. There's auxiliary benefits outside of the cash flow, outside of the equity. What are those? One thing that I care about right now, guys, taxes are coming up. I care about depreciation. So this one was a home run for that. That being said, everything that could have went wrong. And guess what that did for me? It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. I was with Pace Morby. He knew about this deal because I actually came to him and I was like, bro, help me out with this deal. Help me figure this out. He helped me problem solve it. And then he and I were talking a few weeks ago and he's like, wait a minute, did you just close on it? Did you just finish it? And I'm like, yeah, we just got the eviction too. And he's like, it's been like 10 months. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, how do you feel? Marlon, you and I, we had a conversation about this when I was in Phoenix several months ago, where you talked about you maybe had a regret of not getting into bigger asset classes sooner. So one thing that was really important for me on this deal is the amount of time, the amount of headache, the amount of mental stress that it took me to get this deal done. I could have went out and bought a 100-unit apartment building at the same time. So for me, this deal is my favorite because it was the biggest learning lesson to start doing bigger deals sooner. And now we're on track to, I don't want to throw crazy numbers out there, but we're on track to hit some stupid numbers next year in multifamily if we keep on we're going. So guys, we're about 14, 15 minutes in. You guys want to get cranky? You guys want to say any last things?
Yeah,
I have a question for you, Sam. Go ahead, Marlon.
If y'all are on here enjoying this right now, if you're ready to see this real deal, this 10-month deal, I want y'all to go ahead and share this YouTube out right now so we can get some more people on here, right? Like, let's build this community. We had as much as 50 people on this episode at one time. So let's get some people on here because I'm excited for this story. I do not know the details of this. I didn't know this was the deal that you and I spoke about months ago, bro. Like, holy crap. I remember those conversations. So I'm excited to figure out how it all went.
All right, Alejandro, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. My question to you is, throughout that whole 9 months or 10 months of back and forth, what was your top 3 learning experience? I'm really curious to know that.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Number one, more than anything else, do what you say you're going to do. Whatever you promise sellers on the phone when they're about to go into foreclosure, whatever you promise them that you can do for them, no matter what, you freaking stick through and you do it. First time I ever had a conversation, guys, you guys have dealt with foreclosures before. You guys know that foreclosure sellers tend to be in a little bit of denial on the front end, right? They tend to be in a little bit of denial about their situation. They don't think it's as bad as it really is. So what do? They just kind of sit there. And then I had to tell the seller, and he also didn't believe that anyone could help him because of the tenant issues, which we're going to get into. The situation was so bad in his mind that nobody could help him. And everyone that had come to him to try to help him ended up leaving. They left him high and dry. I told him that no matter what, I literally remember telling him, hey, whether it's 2 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years, I'm still going to be here and you are going to sell this house to me and I'm going to save you from this. And guess what? When it got hard as hell, and it was starting to become a thing of my team's like, should we just drop this and go on to the next thing?
Ooh.
Oh, I told him I was going to do it. So we stuck through and we did it. And guess what? That seller and I, long story short, we talk every week. He actually checks in on me every week. And he's just like, how are you doing? He's an older man, love him to death. He's in his 80s. He just checks in and hopes I'm doing well and wants to see how the property's going, wants to see how I'm doing. He checks in on my dogs. It's kind of a cool thing. So do what you say you're going to do. Number 2, this one was a real big thing, guys. Operate in good faith. This is one of those things that was like a tester for me. My brothers here know about the previous work field that I was in, and that's good faith, guys. My brothers know the previous work field that I was in, and guess what? Unfortunately, I had to come face to face with not so amazing people in life. And in the real estate space, this tenant, not the most amazing human being, just the way it is. Has a lot of stuff going on, has a lot of hurt, has a lot of problems that they were trying to figure out and they were trying to solve and they were trying to address. And the problem is they kept using their problems to lash out at other human beings. Like, again, death threats to me, to my team, to realtors, to inspectors, to their own parents. Now, it could have been very, very easy for me to just say, hey, I'm going to close on this in 1 month and I am not going to work with them and I'm just going to evict their asses. Right? I didn't want to be that guy. And for me, it was really important to keep operating out of a standpoint of good faith, not for him. I do this completely selfishly, but for me. So I didn't adopt toxic tendencies. So I didn't become that guy. We all know about the, that stigma of investors that we're just going to buy houses and uproot people and not work with them and just evict them because we don't care because all we do is care about ourselves. Full transparency, this guy probably didn't deserve any of the good faith that I was giving him, that my team was giving him, that his own parents were giving him. It was important for me, for myself, to do it, no matter what. And it taught me a really important lesson that no matter how good you treat other people, they may not always do it back. And that's their own crap. That's their own crap. So that was really important for me mentally. And lastly, guys, this one goes without saying. The bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. Period. You guys are about to see this property in about 2 minutes. It's a little bit dated, but it's a pretty house. It's a nice, pretty house. I'm actually gonna go visit it this week. I should not have gotten this deal at the numbers that I got it. I should not be making the money that I'm gonna make on it. But the only reason I did is because I solved a ginormous problem that no one else could. And where's that going to highlight in the next 18 months, guys? We talk about it a lot. Guys, are we all, I think I'll speak for all 4 of us when I say that creative finance is king, period. Especially for the next 18 months.
I need a hoodie like that.
Yeah, creative finance is king. If you do not have that in your tool belt, good luck. You're not going to get a deal like this. You won't get the 17 different benefits that I'm getting on this deal. You won't have the home run story. You will not be able to help the seller the way that I did. How do I know this? Because about 75 different cash wholesalers tried and failed. It wasn't until a guy who was taught by Pace Morby himself came along, was able to solve his problem without a shadow of a doubt. So let's get to it, guys.
Let's go. I'm excited for this.
Somebody
bring the popcorn, dog. Who has a popcorn?
Yeah, right.
While you're doing that, bro, the first question I got is where'd you find the lead, bro?
Ooh, love it. Love it. Guys, squat it up. Nice. This was a newer investor. It was actually their first deal that they brought to me. They got it. They got on the phone with the seller. They had their cold callers calling it. And this new investor got it to a point where they're like, hey, foreclosure, bad tenants, threats. I don't know what's going on. This is outside of my wheelhouse. I think something can happen. Sam, can you help me? I received that call, I believe, when I was at an amusement park in line.
Nice.
So, guys, yeah, by the way, Daryl, who I really hope you do this now that I'm saying this, you have a shirt that says if the phone is ringing,
money calling.
it's money calling, right?
Baby.
So,
Yeah.
guys, I was at an amusement park in line for a ride, and then I saw a sub-2 student calling me. I'm like, I gotta answer this, gotta see what's going on.
Money calling, baby.
Money's calling always. So squat up. That wholesaler actually received a really good paycheck out of this one too. And that's a relationship that's going to keep going forever. All right, let's do this.
Nice.
While I'm pulling this up, guys, any other questions?
What is the plan with the property, the exit strategy?
Dude, I love that question. You guys could imagine that I'm trying to share it and it went to an infinite void of sharing. All right, do you guys see this?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay, dude. So let's start with this one. Okay. But yeah, can you guys still see me? Like I can't even see myself
No,
right now.
see, bro, you're good.
Okay, amazing. Guys, so on my screen, all I can see is the stuff that I'm sharing. So please do me a favor and maneuver the screens however you guys need. Okay. Daryl, you asked what I'm going to do with the property. The funny thing is this, guys, has the real estate industry changed in the last 10 months? Absolutely. Absolutely. And so what I was going to do 10 months ago is not what I'm banking on doing right now. And it's not what I'm banking on doing 6 months from now. So at the time when this lead first came to me, we were looking at it only as an Airbnb. So let's actually do this. This is what I actually want to do. Let me stop that. I just want you guys to see it because I don't want you to just only have me talk about it. Let's put a name to the face of the house. We were going to do Airbnb originally, but this property is in a town called Henderson, Nevada. And Henderson is very, let's just say picky with when and where they allow short-term rentals. So we will be able to do short-term rental later on. But for you guys, it's an important learning lesson. First and foremost, you should underwrite all your single family homes as long-term rentals. You put all of your money and your hopes and your dreams into that. If it works as a short-term rental, if it works as a midterm rental, to me, that's a cherry on top. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yo, that's really important. I definitely need to emphasize on that. Right, you deal as long-term rentals because if Airbnb say, hey, you can't book any more bookings for the rest of the year, guess what? If it doesn't work, you're screwed.
Also,
so you
I
gotta
want people to-
have that long-term rental money.
I want people to also think about it from the long-term aspect. The reason you need to underwrite it as a long-term rental as well is for the sake of financing and refinancing. Sometimes we get into these deals, whether it's cash, creative, and there's some sort of balloon period. And in 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, you need to be able to go out, refinance, and get long-term debt or new debt on the property. The underwriters don't care that you're cash flowing like crazy from a short-term rental. They're going to say, hey, what's the safest bet? They want to protect their money. So they are underwriting it as long-term. Therefore, you need to underwrite it as long-term.
Yep, absolutely. And good luck going to most traditional lenders and then saying that you want to do an Airbnb. They will throw you out really quickly because they don't like that. They don't want to hear about anything that has volatility to it. And just so you know, guys, Airbnb just had another algorithm update. And it affects how properties and listings are showing on their platform. And there's a lot of volatility. I actually was on the phone today with, in my opinion, one of the highest level Airbnb operators, probably on this half of the country on the West Coast. And he's telling me all about how basically his 100+ units that he has, his 100+ listings, they're scrambling right now to readdress all of this algorithm change and how it's affecting how their listings are populating. So I don't like that. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of headache. So for me and my underwriting purposes, I only care about long-term. Spoiler alert, this one is going to be a long-term rental for a year because the city of Henderson has some kind of issues with you need to have a license to do short-term rentals, and there can only be a certain amount within a certain distance of each other. So for the first year, it's going to be a long-term rental. It's going to kill it as a long-term rental. Then we'll be able to do either midterm or short-term, whatever we see fit. But again, we'll underwrite it then because the comps then are going to be different than the comps now. So, but let's get to it. You guys see this cute little blue house?
That's a pretty house, dog.
It's a cute little blue house, right? It's got a nice little lawn, right? American flag, love America. So, this is the living room. It's a little funny because if you guys, it doesn't look like a 2-story, right? It looks like a 1-story. It's a cute little weird one.
I would live there.
What was that?
I would temporarily rest my head there, live there.
You would temporarily rest your head there. That's so, guys. Overall, it's a little bit dated, right? These floors are a little bit on the older, and this furniture. Let's take the furniture out because we don't really care about the furniture. But this house is overall like, guys, would you say this house is at the very least rent ready?
It's rent ready. It's livable, man. It's
Absolutely.
gated,
By the
but
way,
it's cool though.
yeah,
Nice
guys.
ass pool, bro.
Yeah, when was the last time you guys saw a pool that was as wide as the home?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's solid.
Yeah.
Hey, that
So
kitty-
just so you guys know, on Airbnb, when we make the listings, when we decorate it and we probably paint it not this blue color, we have beautiful lighting. Is this going to be the highlight shot? Maybe some fake palm trees, beautiful lighting. Yeah, absolutely. And
Bro,
guys,
you
this
can
is
see
Henderson.
trees on the pool, on the water. So,
Dude, I'll figure a way to do that just for you, Daryl.
Is that a fireplace
what I
right
want-
there, bro?
Yep, and this is a fire pit right here.
Oh,
Yo, what I want is you got to hook somebody up with a discount if when it's on Airbnb, they say they came to your Airbnb because of this episode.
Ooh, 100%, 100%. Guys, just so you guys know, I mean, we always go to Vegas a lot. I think we're in Vegas quite often now. 100%. This is where we're going to stay, guys. It's actually about to be ready probably about this week or next week. But yeah, guys, so this is Henderson, Nevada. Just so you guys know, Henderson, when you say Henderson, just think about it this way. Henderson is the suburb of Las Vegas, right? And it is extremely hot there. So just like in Phoenix, Arizona, if you want a property that's going to produce high levels of income, you need a pool. You need a pool. You need a hot tub. Why? It's a freaking 120 degrees in the summer, right? The pool comes in clutch, and it actually changes how it's going to perform on maybe Airbnb or as a midterm rental a lot more. It will actually perform a lot better, like a lot better in this market rather than a market that didn't have extreme summers. So
I heard people actually build pools just to make more money on Airbnb.
yeah, it's one of those things, right? That's such a phenomenal. It's an interesting thing to do, and it's going to depend on the market. It's going to depend really on the market. So if there are some markets where a pool makes a massive difference. It makes a massive difference in Phoenix, in Las Vegas, Henderson. It may not make as much of a difference, let's just say in Atlanta, Georgia, where the weather is a little bit more stabilized throughout the year. But if you're in a place that has a desert and the summer gets 100, 110, 120, that pool is a big feature.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No joke, bro. Oh my God.
Awesome. So guys, 816 Schooner Drive, you can go look it up. I own this. I probably shouldn't say that online, but whatever.
I'm about to skip trace you and cold call you, bro. If you want Sam's number, skip trace this address.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not like I don't give out my phone number anyways to everyone for free all the time, which I got to stop doing. So guys, here's an interesting thing. Guys, guess what this number was? February of this year.
What?
Probably 400, 500.
20.
Guys, this just goes to show you how much this market, specifically Henderson, Las Vegas, has changed. It was about $440,000. Yeah.
Crazy.
Actually, let me do this.
Yo, you get there's actually a website called like Wayback Machine, and it lets you go backwards in time, and it'll show you websites from whatever date you choose. You can actually pull up those old records.
Damn.
Got you. I would love to see that. So here I went to realtor.com. Why? Because there's this giant hedge fund called Open Door. A lot of times they'll have their preliminary offers on realtor.com. Just so you guys know, the preliminary offer on realtor.com from Open Door at the time was about 440 grand as well. It would have been a net profit of $100,000 for me to just have sold it. That is gone now because Open Door unfortunately kind of got wrecked. So guys, here it is, 816 Schooner Drive. This is, we purchased this one. You can go down here to price and sale history. Boom. We bought it for $252,000 in this condition. Guys, this house probably as is worth at least right now in today's down market, $350 to $370. When I first contracted it, it was worth probably about $400,000 minimum. I got it for $252 on the purchase price. That's kind of disgusting. In the best possible way ever. And this is why. Here's the problem that we had to solve to get that answer. The problem was simple. The owner of the property, his name is Mickey. Mickey's a great guy. Mickey rented out this property to a family member. That family member didn't necessarily have Mickey's best interests at heart. That family member didn't want to pay rent for about 2 years. You guys see Mickey bought this house in 2017. You guys see that right here?
Mm-hmm.
And then he sold it to me in 2022. There was about a 2-3 year time period where Mickey received no rent from family.
Damn.
And then go ahead.
Did Mickey have equity?
Mickey did not. Mickey had very little equity. And why? Because Mickey went out and bought this property, not for himself, but for that family member.
Wow.
Mickey, bless his soul, is in his 80s. He has retired. He's just trying to live out the golden years. And he went and got this home for a family member to give them a place to live because they didn't have the credit needed to go and get the loan themselves. So he went ahead and sponsored it, put it on his name, was paying all the bills. For about 2-3 years, Mickey paid the mortgage and the utilities, the electricity, all of it for them to live for free. And the family member, by the way, is a grown adult who is married and has children. There was a family living in this property, not paying a dime for about 2 to 3 years. So big problem. Mickey was entering foreclosure because he couldn't keep it up, right? Hemorrhaging $1,200, $1,300 a month for years. And Mickey doesn't have income coming in because he's basically retired. That's how we found Mickey. That's the lead source. If you guys want to pull a list, right? You can go pre-foreclosure, you can go foreclosure. I believe there was a pre-foreclosure list that tuned the sub-2 student into like getting Mickey on the radar. And the problem was this, guys. You guys want to know why Mickey couldn't get his problem solved? No one else, no other cash wholesaler could give them an offer that wasn't significantly below what Mickey bought it for. Everyone was giving him offers significantly below this because they were trying to make gigantic amounts of money on it. It wouldn't have worked. Mickey would have had to take a loss on the property. He would have had to cut a check to get rid of this house. And if you guys look at this number versus this number, Mickey just sold it to me $2,000 more than he bought it.
Wow.
Why? We should actually talk about this. At the time, Daryl, you do a lot of seller outreach, right? And one of the things that you do phenomenally is you don't try to push a seller to do something that's not in their best interest. 8, 9, 10 months ago, when the market was at its peak, if Mickey wanted the highest dollar amount for this property, what should he have done with it?
Listed that bad boy.
And this is list. Is this in condition to list? 1,000%.
Ready to go.
Right?
Especially last year.
Oh yeah, abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. He should have listed this. Guess what? Mickey tried. Agents couldn't even get in the door because they were being threatened.
Wow.
So if an agent went in, let's just say got a listing agreement signed, went in for an inspection to get some photos, or maybe even walked a potential buyer through and harm came to them because of the tenant, I mean, Mickey could be held liable to some degree, right? He had no options. And no other cash wholesaler knew how to handle basically an extremely combative tenant who didn't want to leave, who refused to leave, and was threatening them. They're like, oh, nope, you're threatening me. I'm done. I'm out. Peace now. I'm going to go talk to the next person.
That's because they don't know martial arts like Sam Ye Sing.
Exactly, guys. I've watched Ip Man 75 times. I know Wing Chun. I know it all. So, freaking Daryl. Yeah, guys. So we were able to help Mickey out. I got on the phone with him and I said, hey, we found out everything that's going on and corroborated that it was all true. This has actually been a problem that he's been trying to solve for over 1.5 years now. And I told him, dude, this sucks. Period. This is a shitty situation for you to be in. It's okay, because I'm not afraid of a combative tenant. I'm not going to hand this off to my closers. I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to deal with this myself. We're going to have grown adult conversations with the tenant and basically get him to see that this type of crap is not going to fly.
Yeah.
Guess what happened when I talked to him on the phone the very first time, guys?
I don't think he kept that same energy, bro.
No, he cussed me out.
Oh, shoot. I thought he heard the voice and was like,
yeah, no. He got the phone. It literally went like this. Hey, my name is Sam. I've talked to Mickey who owns this property, right? Here's the reality. We have a purchase agreement. We're gonna buy this house. And then it all just went crazy. And then meanwhile, the spouse was in the background and she was cussing up a storm and she wanted half the money for the sale, this, that, and the other. Right? The audacity of some human beings. So, but let's get into an underwriting standpoint. So we were able to negotiate. We were able to. Here's the thing. I was not going to let up on this one because one, I saw how crappy of a position that Mickey was in, and I told him I'd help him through this because honestly, at this point, I'm a little bit of an emotional human being. I can't just walk away and then have Mickey, who is 84 years old, go into foreclosure and lose it all. I just can't have that happen. I can't have it on my conscience because my mentor, Pace Morby, taught me how to handle this situation through and through. So if I didn't do it, this guy's only hope would honestly be that one of the other three guys on the screen would have been able to do it themselves. And if they didn't do it, if they weren't marketing in Vegas at the time, Mickey would have been screwed. So we pursue the situation. We basically deal with the tenant. We eventually get to a point, and then we'll get into some underwriting right now. We eventually get to the point where we do not, where we had some extensions. Guys, I said I was operating in good faith. He had 3 daughters who were toddler age. Because of that, we went above and beyond. We lined him with realtors. We lined him with credit help. We lined him with movers, like all coming out of pocket for us to help him move on to the next stage of his life. We were going to help facilitate. We're going to be under contract to buy this property, but we're not going to kick you out. We're going to give you the time and the support that you need because life has just been bad for you. And I get that. You may have lashed out at me, but it's not because you're a bad human being. It's because you've had a bad go about it. And I'm just going to stick with that mindset for my own peace of mind. We did that for a couple of months. Daryl, do you think that went well for me?
I don't think so, bro.
No, it did not.
Real quick though, can I just say something real quick? You said something really big, right? A lot of people, when they're on the phones or talking to sellers, they get snapped on. They get yelled at, especially people who are new and they're cold calling like themselves. You're going to get yelled at. You're going to get snapped on, right? But the mindset that Sam has is the mindset that you need to take into it every single time. They're not mad at you, right? These people are going through stuff. They're going through situations. They're getting calls all day, right? So if you were in that same situation, empathy, right? If you put yourself in their shoes and see where they're coming from, you'd probably be pissed off too, right? So keep that in mind. They're not mad at you. They're mad at your situation. Sam, continue with your masterclass, sir.
Thank you. No, and you're 100% right. Like the reality is this person, I believe is a former felon. I believe they have horrible credit history, so they can't get good jobs. They can't sustain jobs. They've got 3 daughters to provide for. They can't afford bills. They can't even actually afford to live in the market that they want to be in, which is the Vegas market because, prices are going up. And honestly, guys, I'm a little bit more traditional. Me as the man, I believe it is my job to be the provider and the protector of my people. So I could only imagine the pressure that this person was feeling, and it caused him to be combative. It's okay, right? Just like Daryl said, he's not mad at me. He's mad at his own situation. And guess what happened? I actually stuck with him. And every time he gave me that pushback, I actually challenged him when the time was right, when I felt that it was the right time. Because guys, sellers will beat you up on the phone. But there are times where it is actually very important, just my personal take as a high-level closer, to put them in their freaking place because they need to hear it, because very often they are too used to not being called on their bullshit. Yeah. You know who does that fantastically? Daryl. I've seen Daryl do it, and it's the most beautiful thing. So guess what happened, though? There was times where I had to put him in his place, and it all went away. The red seller energy, right? All that stuff, the hate, the anger, the anxiety, it all went away. And we had a man-to-man conversation about what was going to happen. And then guess what he understood? It wasn't on me. I'm not the bad guy. With or without me, the home would have gone into foreclosure, right? If I didn't show up and save the day, the home would have gone into foreclosure. The constable's office, right, which is the Clark County Sheriff's Department, would have evicted him from the property so the bank could have auctioned it to settle the debt. He knew that was going to happen. The foreclosure was already pending. I was the only one to come in, halt the foreclosure, work with him, and then all of a sudden, he's not my best friend, but he knows I'm not the enemy. And that changed the dynamic a lot. And then there's a lot of, he became a lot more cooperative. So let's get into why this deal matters, because I want to get into some underwriting. But because I think it's important for you guys to see this. You guys can see this, right? This document?
Yep.
Okay. every state, every municipality, it's going to look a little bit different depending on the title company you use, this, that, and the other, right? This is a grant, bargain, sale, deed. What this literally means, it is a one-page paper saying that, let's see, yep, State of Nevada Declaration of Value, blah, blah, blah. Here's basically a receipt saying that I officially have ownership through a grant, bargain, or a sale. Right?
Wait, that's it, bro? Just a piece of paper is all you need?
There's a few more papers, but this is one of them. This is one of the most important ones. Right. Joint tenants for valuable consideration, the receipt of which is hereby blah, 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 blah. Legal jargon is sell and convey to Arch. You guys know me. Everything that I do is Arch. And this is a lot of private information that is not for public consumption. Basically saying that Mickey, his wife Roberta, right, his husband and wife, joint tenants, sold to me this house. Cool. This is what we call a HUD, a settlement statement. They're going to look a little bit different depending on where you're at, depending on the county, depending on the municipality, depending on the title agency. But for the most part, they kind of have this overall look, this kind of grid look. Guys, any questions on this one before I kind of dive into it, or anything you guys want to note?
This note, it's also known as an Alta. You'll hear an Alta as a HUD.
Yep. So here it is, guys. 816 Schooner Drive. I bought it for a sale price of $252,000. Now, guys, this is a hybrid sale. So I didn't show up with, a duffel bag of $252,000 in 100s and just throw it on the table like a baller. No, $252,000 is the sale price, right? And I think we'll probably have Marlon do some Excel stuff, and to kind of break some of this stuff down. $252,000. Out of that 252, a portion of that is going to be subject to taking over the existing mortgage. And then the other portion of that is going to be seller financing. So in nowhere is this like a full cash sale. So I would go down, I want to hike this, you guys, right? 252K. Seller carryback of 236,000. If you guys look at this number here, what you guys are missing here, this difference, is this $500, this $1,000, and also $15,000 down. I gave this seller, Mickey, $15,000 at close of escrow to help him with some things that he wanted to buy. Daryl, you're actually someone that I learned this from. The power of a closure technique called labeling, right? We want to label how sellers feel. We want to label, what they're saying to us, and then repeat it back, and not just in a mirroring aspect, but be able to label it so we can get their minds focused on this. At close of escrow, right? People, a lot of times they say they want 20% down, 50% down, some ridiculously high number, right? Which we can't do as creative financiers. I want him to isolate not what he wants at close, but what he needs at close. And how did I do that? I asked him, what are you going to use that money for? Right? And then he's like, I wanted $30,000 down. Well, I'm like, that's a lot, What do you need? What are you going to buy at close of escrow? If we close in 30 days, what are you going to buy with the money I give you? And then he's like a crafter. He actually has really cool hobbies, and he wants to buy basically this thing that's like a 3D printing machine. And I'm like, that's super cool. Any 80-year-old man who does 3D printing is pretty freaking cool in my book.
Iron Man.
And I said, great, dude. What does that look like? How much does that cost, that 3D printing machine? And he's like, he geeked out. Why? Because I got him to open up about one of his hobbies, one of the things he loves, something that probably a lot of people aren't talking to him about. And he just went on a tear for 20 minutes about this amazing 3D printing machine. It's called a CNC something, right? Some fancy name. It allows him to do a bunch of different things. He actually makes whips, like from Indiana Jones type stuff. And this machine would have helped him, make handles that are more streamlined and things like that. I got him to label that the close of escrow money, right, the down payment in 30 days, in this case was a lot longer than 30 days, would have been for that machine. What is the price tag of that machine? It was $15,000. And I'm like, that worked for me. Cool. Labeled it. In his mind going forward, it's not, I need a down payment. It's, I need a CNC machine. And that costs $15K. Sam's going to give me that. So that's how we go from 252 to 256.
I can only imagine you, Sam, on the phone just listening about this 3D printing machine. Like, I could just imagine.
Yeah. I told him at this point, I was like, man, I want you to make me like an Indiana Jones type whip or something. Like this is cool stuff. I learned a lot. about why why he is a master of his craft.
What are we using the whip for, bro?
I didn't go there. You know, he's in his 80s, and I'm assuming his wife is also around there. I didn't want to. That is private stuff, you know. Daryl would have gone the extra mile and asked those questions.
Probably.
Definitely.
So you guys are going to notice, right? This is the settlement statement. When we close at escrow, this is basically the giant receipt of things. What's not going to be on here? What do you guys notice isn't here in the miscellaneous that usually is here?
I don't see an assignment.
Boom. No assignment. Why? Marlon, I came to you and I talked about this escrow process, and it was a pain in the butt. The escrow officer, one of them, there was multiple, really didn't want to do an assignment and just made it extremely difficult for us to have that conversation. So I don't recommend you guys do this. What we basically did is we actually did the assignment kind of after the fact, but there is a high degree of trust, right? There's a high degree of trust. There's a high degree of accountability. I ended up paying that student who brought me this deal, right? Didn't bring me a deal, didn't bring me a contract, brought me a phone number and an address. Guys, guess how much I paid them? How much would you pay for a phone number and an address, and that's it?
I mean, it depends. Nowadays, like, if you bring me a phone number and an address, depending on the size of the deal, you get anywhere from $500 to like maybe upward to $5,000. But knowing Sam, I'm assuming they got way more than that.
Guys, I firmly believe that I don't invest in real estate. I invest in relationships. Everything that I have to this day, all the successes that I've had are because I invested in the right human beings. We paid that student $10,000.
Dang.
Yeah.
Hey, can I send you a address and a phone number, bro?
Here's the thing, though. If it results in me, and here's the thing, guys, right? When Alejandro asked me, you know, one of the things that I always, one of the 3 lessons is do what you say you're going to do. I told that student that that's what I would give them on the assignment on the front end when I thought this would be an easy deal. 8 months later, after I've had to suffer and lose money and be cussed out and this, that, and the other, and make this an extremely amazing deal, right? That number should have gotten actually a lot lower, but guess what? I gave my word. So we stick with it. We stick with it.
Yeah. I have a few leads in my database right now, bro.
Same. That's what I was about to ask. No, Sam, are you telling the world right now? Are you giving us your word that you're paying us $10K for?
I'm not saying anything anymore. But yeah, guys, if you guys want to do deals with me, if I buy the deal, I give you the full assignment no matter what. Like, I don't want a piece of it. I'm buying the deal. That's more than enough for me. But let's get into it. So, and we're going to break this down. I want you guys to look at these papers, and then it looks like we may go over on time a little bit today, and that's totally okay. And then we'll do like a more kind of formal breakdown of the numbers. So, okay. You guys remember how I bought it for $252,000. I put $15K down, 236 left over, right? This amount right here is the seller finance portion, this principal amount. So let me highlight this. Ooh, so the seller had a Wells Fargo mortgage on the property, and that was, you know, whatever the heck 236 minus 90 is, right? Whatever that is, we're making payments on that to Wells Fargo. This is a seller finance portion. Because I solved a massive problem, the seller had no problem, was actually happy to give me 0% on interest. I want you guys to look at this. First payment, September 2022. Maturity 2052. For the people who are not amazing at math, that's a 30-year term. Not a 5-year balloon, not a 10-year balloon, not a 7.5 with an option to extend if it doesn't appraise. No. He gave me $90K over 30 years at 0% interest.
Damn. I don't think people understand that that's free money.
I thought 0% interest is that legal?
It is absolutely legal. It is 1,000% legal. And then so that monthly payment to the seller, I am paying Mickey $258 a month for the next 30 years. It's amazing.
Sam,
right?
Okay, why would the seller not just rent this out and make money on his own?
Because the seller, I love that question. The seller had a nightmare being a landlord to family, right? The seller wants nothing to do with real estate. What do they want? They want their problem gone so they can go enjoy their retirement, which is exactly what they needed to do. Exactly what he wanted to do. All Mickey wanted to do was get his CNC machine, make some whips, and go hang out with his wife in the bedroom. That's all he wanted to do. So we're able to help him get there. So, guys, anyone who's wondering, right, the terms of privately held loan, guys, this is a private note that is basically an IOU between me and the seller. I did not draft this. Marlon, you do a ton of deals. Who drafts these privately held loan terms?
Bro, my title company all day long.
Marlon, are they always going to look like this? Or is each title company going to do it a little bit differently?
No, they look different every time. Heck,
different every time.
I've even had the seller draft their own.
Yep. So, guys, when you're looking at this, for anyone who hasn't done a deal yet and you're terrified of what, oh my God, PML, I have to go raise money, or, you know, 90,000 on a seller finance at 0%. How do I draft it? Don't freak out. Just tell your title company what your terms are, what you've negotiated. They'll go ahead and put it on paper for you. And they'll do it in a way that is also like ethical and transparent, and they'll make sure that everyone's on board the right way. So yeah, great terms here. So guys, this is a creative finance deal. We're going to get into the entry fee and the cash flow in a second. One last thing I want you guys to see is that on the entry fee, I needed, let's just say I'd probably need about $20,000 to close, right? $25,000 to close. I raised a lot more than that.
Why?
Marlon, you do a lot of deals.
Yes,
Why
sir.
do you raise more money?
You know, one, it's always about access to capital. Right? It is always about access to capital. I will always borrow more than I need. So one of the main reasons and the most important reasons is I got to start making payments to my private money lenders, right? Well, if I borrowing money to get into the deal, where's my money to pay them? What if this is my first deal? I still don't have any money. I'm still at $0, right?
Mhm.
I can use my private money lenders' money to pay them back. I could pay
So true.
private money with the same private money to give myself time for the property to kick on.
Yep.
Whoa,
Absolutely.
wait a minute. You raise private money enough to pay your private money,
Yep.
With their own money.
bro?
With
what?
their own money.
I don't think you're supposed to let that secret out, bro.
Dog, well,
What?
my private money. Here's the cool thing, though. This is where we talk about bringing value to people. This is a benefit to my private money lender because they lent me more. They're getting more money
Yeah.
because there's a larger principal for them to collect interest on. It works out
Absolutely.
for everybody.
Absolutely. And so there's multiple lessons here, guys. So one, I actually probably needed only about $20,000 to close. I raised, and this property is mostly turnkey, right? Outside of the tenant doing some stupid things, which he may or may not have done. We actually had a clean out. Just so you guys know, I'm actually flying to this house this week. Guys, I may stop in Phoenix and hang out with you guys if you're cool with that. But we're gonna go and check the property out, do our formal walkthrough now that the guy's out. We raised extra, right? We raised extra, but like 30,000 extra. Here's why. I'm evicting someone. It's going to take me time, even in a landlord-friendly, eviction-friendly state. That's going to take time. And guess what? I have to pay mortgage. I have to pay my private money lender back. I've got to pay the HOA. I've got to do this, that, and the other. And on top of that, if the guy's not happy, which I'm assuming he wasn't happy with me for kicking him out, is it safe to be concerned of him damaging the property a little bit more? Yeah. So we raised an additional 35,000. Guess what? It was probably about the perfect amount because we now just have enough amount left. This interest rate was not 9%. It was actually 8% when we first got them on a term. A lot of people wonder like how long the term should be. I think this is like an outdated paper, but it's a 3-year term. And say the years here, it's a 3-year term with this lender. They were giving me $55,000 for 3 years at 8% interest only. If you guys see that's right here. So that means each month I'm only paying the 8% interest. Why does it say 9 here? Marlon, is it worth it to bump up or incentivize or bonus your private money lenders if you've got the spread to do so?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Relationship.
Yeah. I found out we secured them at 8%. They were totally happy with it. They were even okay with doing 5 years. I found out that the lender, God bless them, they are pregnant. And so we went back to underwriting. We're like, okay, what can we actually afford with all the long term? We're like, dude, we can easily afford an additional percent. Let's do it. And then it was a cool little thing. It's 1%, but it equals a little bit more money. It's like $100 more, right, per month. And then they were really happy about that. They love me for it. It's good. It helps all the way around. So every month I'm paying the PML. I don't know why I keep saying that. That's annoying. I'm paying the PML $412.50 for the next 3 years. So, yep, that's easy. Okay, let's get into some general underwriting, guys.
Yo, shout out to Mickey, man. Can you tell him to make me a whip?
Oh, dude, Mickey owes me a whip, bro. I'm still waiting on mine. It's back ordered. Apparently, the machine is taking long. But let's do it. Marlon, you love doing some Excel stuff. You want to bust out one of your Excel sheets real quick?
I guess so.
Let's go.
Because I want people to be able to see this, at least the cash flow aspect of it, right? Marlon is way more cellular than I am. I literally just do napkin math. I will do the math in my head and I will round numbers, and I probably shouldn't do that. But I know some people are much more visual learners, so let's kind of put that on paper a little bit.
Bro, what we'll do is, because this is a creative deal, we will use the entry fee calculator for this.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Is this Ingrid's calculator that I don't have
this
access
is
to?
the Ingrid Hernandez's.
Oh,
I don't have this calculator, and I am hurt.
Bro, this calculator is the reason we're doing a really dope deal that we'll talk about on another day. So let me share my screen. Let me share a Chrome tab. Entry fee calculator. Can you fellas see this?
Ooh, look at that. That looks so much smarter than me.
a nice calculator.
Let me hide this one, though, so we don't need nobody going. Well, it's already on the contract, so no one's going to be able to go get that anyway. But, yo, shout out to Ingrid Hernandez. She's the one that got this one here. But let's go over this bad boy.
Dude, all right, let's do it. So what's the first up on the cash to seller?
So,
right? Remember,
15.
we labeled it. It's not cash to seller. It's a 3D printer because he wanted to print some whips and stuff. $15,000. Easy enough. Arrears. Cool thing? None. He was about to enter a really bad situation, but fortunately we got him at the right time where there was nothing. Actually, there was a trash lien on it, but it was like $300. To me, $300, nothing. I would just put zero. What do we got next? Cost of acquisition. Very, very important thing. Cost of acquisition, guys. Sometimes there's realtors involved. They got to get paid. Sometimes there's a wholesaler involved. They got to get paid. Sometimes you're Sam Singh and a sub-2 student brought this to you and you over-love people and you pay them $10,000 on the cost of acquisition when you did the acquisition. So it's fine. Closing cost. I can actually tell you exactly what that is. You know why?
because you got the HUDs, bro, and you ain't
I
no
got it.
HUD. I'm still just trying to figure out how I could just send you phone numbers, bro, and just like sit back and wait to get paid.
I feel like HUD statement. I feel like HUD statements.
Just please, God, don't send me evictions. Okay, it was actually a lot. It was actually pretty low. It was, to do overall ended up being 1358 because really low. And there's reasons for that. We were able to drive a lot of traffic to that title company.
Can you share that title company info?
Yeah, absolutely.
$1,300. Okay.
I feel like that's like well, I guess I'm up in the Midwest. Like that's like where my clothing costs. Like around.
Yeah, come over here to Texas, bro. They built different over here.
Okay, what do we got next? Rehab, reno, furnishing. I would put zero, right? Because I was going to. Here's the thing, guys. That rehab, reno, furnishing, right? It's going to be dependent on what your exit is. So if my exit strategy is Airbnb, I need to furnish it. I need to furnish it well. I'm going to go call my boy Hung Mai. I'm going to have him furnish the place for me and set it up on Airbnb, but that's going to have an additional cost. This is a property that's in really good condition. I would allocate, honestly, paint, some laminate vinyl flooring to just make it rent ready, some basic stuff. I typically will allocate between 7 to 10, just really roughly, because it's in great condition. So we just put that there. So, dude, just do me a favor. Put 10 G's in there.
Ooh, look at that. It's already there for you, bro.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Holding payments runway 100%. 10 grand is what we anticipated because I've got ooh, I dropped my pen. 10 grand is what we anticipated because every month I've got to pay a mortgage, because every month I've got to pay an HOA, because I've got to pay my PML. And while I'm evicting this person, I can't put a cash flowing renter in there to give me money. So in your underwriting and your entry fee, guys, you have to account for that loss. So 10 grand is about right. It's about a 3-4 month hold time. To do cost to fill 450. Full transparency, guys. Marlon probably does because Marlon is a lot smarter than me. Daryl, do you ever actually like fill out your cost to fill?
My what?
Your cost to fill.
No, I put a random number in there.
I'm like, yeah, what does Zillow rental listings cost? I typically don't fit that out, but guess what? It says 45. Here's what I always do on my entry fee, guys. I always just add an extra 10 grand to it. Like that's always what I do. Just because stuff happens, right? Stuff always happens, in my opinion. That gets us to about that. It says 56 here. We raised 55. It's about the perfect number. So cool. Monthly PML cost. It's so funny. Marlon's got 8%, 10%, 12%. He hates odd numbers. I gave them 9%, and that 9% equals $412. I'll just give you that. Marlon's allergic to odd numbers. It's kind of his thing.
Bro, come on. 8%'s a happy return, bro. 8% makes for a happy investor.
It is, but they're pregnant. You know, we give a little bit more, right? It's for the baby. Okay, so what do we got? Monthly rental income. Ooh, well, what do you got going on for 70? Those are Airbnb or midterm numbers.
That's not even Airbnb numbers, and those are conservative on the deal we're looking at right now.
I am. Can I
God
buy
dang.
a partner on that, bro?
I know, bro. I feel like I'm not talking to you and Ingrid enough at this point. Like something's going on.
Bro.
Okay. Yeah, monthly rent costs or monthly rental income as a baseline rental is going to be about $2,500 in the Vegas market. So let's go and put like 25 in there because it's got a pool. And yes, guys, the pool will make that difference between 23, 24, 25. Monthly equity. Oh, right, guys. The seller's got monthly payments to him. That seller finance note, it's about $250. PML.
I like this calculator.
I know. I'm like, wow, I do this stuff off the top of my head. 412 for that PML.
I've ran away from calculators.
Shout out to Ingrid Hernandez. Like, let's just give my girl, let's give that queen some love. Shout out to Ingrid Hernandez. If y'all are not following Ingrid, you right there.
Your Instagram is on the calculator.
Come on, bro. Come on. I give my girl some love all day long.
Guys, I feel like Ingrid just showed us all up on how to market it. Like she put her Instagram on a calculator. I feel like we're all failing in life now. But yeah, thank you, Ingrid. So, okay, monthly PITI, right? This is the mortgage balance that we're paying to Wells Fargo. All in all, with the interest included, it's $980. Yeah, shout out to Mickey for getting that in. By the way, it's like a 2% interest rate. War chest, $750. God dang. Yeah, I'll typically do about $200 on just a war chest. That's just the oh shit fund. Monthly insurance on this one. Ooh, we just paid it too. I remember it was like $60.
Now, is that insurance outside of your PITI?
Yes,
Wells Fargo? That's
an additional policy. Just because we were required to do so on this specific transaction because of some other stuff. But yeah, $60 on that. And then monthly taxes. None, 0% interest right on the seller finance portion. So boom, monthly cash flow. Honestly, yeah, $600. We're anticipating between $600 to $700.
Let's go, dude. That's strong for when you're looking at a long-term rental. If
wow, look at that.
Do over $400 for a traditional long-term rental. That's a solid freaking deal,
bro. That's $600 net, not even gross. That's like net to the pocket. Like this, that's fantastic.
And I'll go get that tenant for you, dog. If you just give me some equity, just made like $100 a month.
And let's keep in mind that every single month that Sam pays this seller $250, his net worth is going up by $250.
Absolutely.
That's 0% interest. So essentially, you're building $3,000 of additional net worth every year with hope.
Write that down, guys. This is sauce, bro.
Yeah,
Free
that's definitely
sauce from
dope.
Marlon himself.
Absolutely. And guys, remember this: when we put a tenant in there and the tenant is paying, you know what tenants are doing? They're crowdsourcing our retirement for us. They're crowdfunding our retirement for us because every month they're paying off the debt. They're paying off Wells Fargo. They're paying off my private money lenders. They're paying off Mickey so he can go have fun with his CNC machine. Guess what? They're increasing my net worth for me on a conveyor belt. Now, the cool thing is this, guys, we'll have $600 a month, right, for the first year as a long-term rental. You guys want to know the net number, because I know we're already running late on time, but you guys want to know the net number this is going to perform at as an Airbnb next year?
Give me.
It's going to net minimum $3,500.
Bro,
Yo.
let's plug that in. Let's see what that does. $3,500 per month net.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I don't even know how to begin to combobulate that. What was it, like $6,000 gross coming in?
It's like over 7,000.
Oh,
Thank God for the pool. The pool, by the way, guys, was the thing that crushed it.
Yo, look at that.
Yep. Oh yeah. That 3,500 is conservative. So like all the projections tell us that if it's doing at least like $6,000 to $7,000, and right with the right Airbnb partners who know how to like set them up the proper way. And the good thing is I know like some of the best operators in the country. Yeah, it's gonna be easy $3,500 a month. And guys, this is a two-bedroom house.
Can we talk about the coolest part of this deal? There are two really cool parts about this property.
What is that, bro?
Right. The first one here, it's like someone's looking and like, man, Sam's about to make a 76.6% ROI. No, Sam's not. Sam's making an infinite ROI.
Infinito.
Because he literally has put no money into this deal.
Settle.
You guys want to know the coolest part about this, guys? I live in California. This property is near Vegas, right? I bought this house. I never went to a bank. Never had a credit check. I know I have great credit. I don't know what my credit score is. I really don't. I know it's good. No, it's really good. I don't know what it is. And then guess what? It costs none of my own money. Heck, the earnest money deposit that we put in, you guys want some secret game? My good friend Forrest Blackburn is the one who taught me this. He gave this out for free, so I feel like giving it out for free, though. It's $500 on the EMD, right? It said so on the settlement statement. Our EMD was paid in the form of a promissory note.
Bro.
Did you guys even know that you could do that? Do you guys know that that was a thing?
Actually, I knew because I listened to your podcast with Forrest.
Yeah, that was a mind-blowing thing. So actually, I didn't put any money in. I never came out of pocket, even for EMD. Just a promissory note. What was that?
You didn't even pay for the lead.
I didn't even pay for the lead. I didn't even pay for the cold call.
Infinite return, bro.
Infinite freaking return, guys. I did this all from the comfort of my bedroom. And this property is going to be a great spot, right? Once it's furnished, once it looks amazing, guess what? Me and the boys are going to kick it there next time we go to Vegas, probably next month. So
hold on real quick. So you didn't pay for the lead. You got your boy Mickey his whip machine. You're gonna get a free whip machine. It's in Las Vegas. Wait, Nevada, right? Nevada?
Yep,
Las Vegas.
Close to it, close enough. It's gonna bring you 7 infinite return. And you didn't put any of your money in?
Nope. Oh, and my favorite thing, because I'm in a position where this matters, depreciation. So I can go make more money. Bro. And then write off that money so I can keep it.
That's the second coolest part of this deal. It's depreciation. It don't matter if the market's going up, down, or sideways. My boy Sam gets depreciation no matter what.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Congratulations on that deal, bro. That's great.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. This is an amazing one, 100%. My only requirement with you three guys as my brothers is that we all go to Vegas soon once this thing's furnished and looks beautiful. Let's hang out in that beautiful pool in that hot tub. We're gonna have a great time. I think we actually have to wrap because my brother Daryl Ellison has to go close on a house right now.
Yes, sir.
Whoa.
You know what helps? You know what helps Daryl close on so many deals? Being able to track his fitness with the Whoop. So if y'all want to get in on the Whoop,
yo, bro, that's crazy, bro. Don't hit his link. He's lucky I don't got my link handy right now, but hit me up. I'll get you my link.
That's Whoop.
Daryl's about to get an infinite return on that Whoop. Watch.
Let's go.
All right, guys.
Sam, this was a master class, bro. Like, we learned so much. We learned about all the headaches that you freaking go through with not even just a creative deal. This is with just about any deals. We learned that you need to solve problems, put the seller first. We learned what a hybrid is. We learned what a promissory note was. We learned a lot today, bro. We learned a lot. So if you guys got value today, make sure you go back and rewatch this, take notes, like the video, subscribe to all of our channels, subscribe to everybody's page, like everybody on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever, MySpace, whatever. Make it happen. And join live every single Tuesday, 5 o'clock Arizona time. All the other times are listed below. Fellas, y'all have anything else before we bounce?
Yes, sir. I gotta say one thing. Tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Like this is how this grows. So this grows so organically. It is you go out and you tell a friend and you bring somebody back to the campfire. Everyone has a job to do. Everyone has a mission. Go out and bring somebody back to the campfire. If you're getting value, share the wealth. I need you to spread the wealth, right? Don't hide things. When Daryl reads something and learns something, when Sam learns something new, when Alejandro learns something new, they share it with me. They're like, yo, here's the sauce. So share it with a friend. If you're getting value, don't put it off till next week. Share this episode right now. Be like, yo, you need to watch this. Because had I seen this when I first got started with real estate, it would have answered a lot of questions. A lot of questions would have been answered. So, Sam, I appreciate you, bro. That was saucy.
Dude, this is what this game's all about. So number one, shout out to Pace Morby for showing me how to go and solve some really big problems and help a lot of people. Moreover than that, shout out to Pace Morby for putting me around you guys. It's a great time to be here with you guys. My only request for everyone, right? Not a lot of people are going to show you guys HUDs. Not a lot of people are going to show you guys all the stuff that we do, right? Promissory notes, the actual properties and addresses. Why? Sometimes they may not actually be transacting as much as they say they do. We want to keep giving everyone secret freaking sauce to actually show you how to do this business at a high level. My only request is that you go subscribe to my 3 best friends. Subscribe to them, show them some love on some Instagram. It's really Alvarez, Daryl Ellison, and Mindset Marlon. You do that for me. That's all that I ask. That's my biggest thing. I love you guys.
Love you, bro.
Love you, dog.
Badass outro, bro. Thank you guys.
All right, guys. We will see you next week.